This video is brought to you by SimpliSafe. More about them later in the video. So we got our motor plates in between the motor mounts and the subframe, which lifted the motor a nice 1/4 of the inch, which should hopefully be the perfect amount of clearance for the steering rack. I edited it out of the last video, but we tried to put the steering rack in and didn't fit because when I made the motor mounts, steering rack wasn't there and I made it a little bit too low. Obviously in the last video, we got this thing running. My God, does it sound awesome. The next step is to get it driving, which means we need to do brakes, we need to do suspension, we need to finish up stuff in here, intercooler piping, exhaust. We're gonna redo all the wiring for the engine. A lot of work needs to be done. But with the lift plates in, I think we're gonna get started on the steering and suspension. So of course, we've got all new suspension parts, inner, outer tie rods, control arms, because the old control arms are super rusty, and of course, the aftermarket coilovers. But we're gonna do this factory stuff first here. Oh, wow, gotta love that. Thanks, Rock Auto. Bro, like, I guess you just tighten it down and that's what they want you to do. Why is this not even close to fitting? Bruh. Rock Auto, bro. Don't buy Volvo parts from Rock Auto. What is this supposed to seal out, huh? It's a pretty big tie rod. Just slips right off. I just don't feel like waiting like a week to get my new parts from Rock Auto, which quite frankly, they'd probably be wrong too anyway. Bets on how long that's gonna last. I'm gonna give it like 2 weeks. One of the things I'm worried about is I bought the new wheel bearings for the coilovers from Rock Auto 2. And a huge thanks to B&E Dynamics for sending out these coilovers for the sleeper Volvo. As you can tell, they are absolutely gorgeous. B&E Dynamics makes a huge assortment of performance parts for Volvos. If you guys are interested, I'll have a link in the description and in the cards above. So we got our coilovers in, we got our control arms in, we got our inner outer tie rods in, we got our Jeep's back in the shop, as you guys can tell. Not broken this time though. Hey, ain't that right, Hunter?
Yeah.
We got a refurbished sway bar and mounts and new bushings in the mounts and 8 end links in. So all the suspension is in. Not everything's tightened yet, but it's good to go. Next, I'm gonna pull off the wheel bearings and stuff from the old suspension, and then we can start working on the big old brakes. But first, let me thank this video sponsor, SimpliSafe. SimpliSafe is an award-winning security system with cutting-edge technology backed by highly trained 24/7 monitoring professionals. There's really no safe like SimpliSafe. And that's because setup is easy. Your SimpliSafe security system can be installed in 30 minutes with simple hand tools, and you don't have to hire a professional technician to come and install the system in your home. They have awesome sensors to protect your home, like a smart lock, an entry sensor. Was there a person?
Amazon guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Indoor security cameras that capture all your funny moments. Keypads.
SimpliSafe on. Home.
And with SimpliSafe, your property is under 24/7 protection by live SimpliSafe agents, ready to send firefighters, EMTs, or police in case of an emergency. The best part about that is that it costs less than $1 a day, which is significantly less than any other security system. And there are no long-term contracts. You can add or remove the live monitoring whenever you want. I've absolutely fallen in love with SimpliSafe during the past year that I've been using it. It is an absolute game changer in terms of peace of mind and convenience. So if you guys are interested, you can save 40% on your SimpliSafe security system during SimpliSafe's biggest sale of the year. Visit simplisafe.com/Gingium to customize your system. And now back to my nap. Oh wait, I gotta finish the damn video. So we got our wheel hubs off. These are the new brakes that are gonna be going onto the car. Kind of teased them in the last video, but Brembo 4-pot calipers, B&E Dynamics, same company who made the suspension, also made the adapter kit to put these on to the Volvo. They machine the caliper to get it to fit perfectly. The absolutely amazing thing is that this massive caliper will fit under some 15-inch wheels. And that's really important because for the sleeper look, I wanted to be able to run a 15-inch Stealthy and put a hubcap on. So we'll be able to with this. Before we can put these on, I have to kind of revamp these hubs. Gonna paint them, gonna clean them up. I'm gonna put some extended studs in there because we're probably gonna have to run a slight spacer to clear these wheels. Yes, yes. So as we wait for the new bearings to come in to put the brakes on, we're gonna start working on the brake lines. We've got a couple things that we're adding to the brake system besides these brakes. For one, a hydraulic e-brake. For two, a staging brake solenoid. Now there's a lot of different ways we could work this out. After thinking about it, I think I've decided the hydro is gonna brake the front wheels, which sounds funny at first. Having the ability to modulate how much pressure is going to the front brakes, I think is going to be nice. You can't modulate how much pressure is going to the solenoid. So this I'm gonna use for holding down the pressure to the rear brakes as I'm loading up the car ready to launch it. Let me explain a scenario, right? I'm in the water box. I dump the clutch, car starts rolling, I rip the e-brake, doing a sick burnout, Slowly let go of the e-brake, car rolls forward, get off the throttle. Creep up to the staging line, 1 light. Creep up a little bit more, 2 light. Brake pedal down, staging brake on, brake pedal off, let go of the button, boom. That's the idea. The only downside of that is that I won't be able to rip the e-brake to do skids, but I don't really want to do like skids in this thing. Rolling donuts, that's enough for me, and that's what this will be really good at. So, okay. The brake line system on this is really weird because it's got this junction block. The lines are gonna come off the master cylinder into the junction block, then to the hydro, then to the front brakes, and then into the rear brakes. Yada, yada, yada. Lots of brake lines. Let's get started. I love the plasma cutter. I mean, being able to do just simple stuff like make a mount for a brake line. It's just so fabulous. So as we wait for some paint to dry on the underneath of the car, we're gonna get back to work on the wheel hubs. We got our new bearings from Rock Auto. They're actually correct. Let's go. Gonna drive the bearings in. New tools. Woo-hoo. And then we have to put the extended studs in this hub. And then we can finish assembling the brake kit. And just like that, our two new refurbished wheel hubs are ready to go back on. So unfortunately, we're waiting for a few fittings to finish the front half of the brake lines, but we got the rear half done. We got our two lines coming down from the master cylinder into the distribution block. We've got the ports plugged that we need to have plugged. Then we have the one for the rear coming into the line lock solenoid. That will be wired up later. And then it comes down into an actual mount right here. Previously, wherever the soft lines connected to the hard lines, I just had a hose clamp and some zip ties. It worked, but it didn't look good, didn't look professional. So now we have some actual nice mounts. Comes down a nice stainless steel soft line into another little distribution block, also mounted solidly. Going to the soft line for this caliper. Soft line is stainless steel, properly mounted yet again. Over here, soft line, stainless steel, properly mounted. On the previous setup, the rear lines were all rubber lines, and actually the front left lines were rubber lines, but the front right lines were stainless steel lines. Definitely it's taken longer than I wanted to, but I'm glad we're doing this. I'm gonna go ahead and start working on the mounts for the fuel system. As you can tell, it's just kind of chilling here. So this is before. Yeah, doesn't get close, but it's a little far sitting position. Much better, more leverage, closer to me, and now I don't have to reach down. It's just like boom, boom. Online manual says to torque it to 42 foot-pounds, then loosen it half a turn, and then hand tighten it. And if necessary, loosen it slightly to be able to fit a cotter pin through the hole. So that's what we did, and this is a nice feeling wheel bearing. I hope I did everything right, but I mean, it feels like it. It doesn't endlessly rotate, but it's not tight. Feels good. I don't have the pads yet either, so I can't put those in, but it turns over nicely. The fact that all this can fit under a 15-inch wheel, I don't know how B&E did it, but it's very impressive. I want to try something with the wheels we got. I don't think they're gonna clear this specific setup because they're crappy Steelies, but let me see. So I cut out these pieces of pipe to simulate our 32mm spacer that we're gonna be running. Yeah, it's hitting the caliper before it bottoms out on the thing, and you can see. The problem about this wheel, the actual like face of the wheel is really small. It's for like a 13 or 14-inch wheel. And then they just put a bigger barrel on it to make it a 15-inch wheel. We're gonna have to buy an OEM Volvo front-wheel drive wheel from an older car. The only one that I could find so far are from Sweden, which are gonna take 6 weeks to get here. Obviously not doing that, but we'll see. I really wanted to get the brakes 100% done, bled, pumping, working by the end of this video, but fittings delays. So in the next video, we'll get the brakes 100% done, get all the engine stuff redone, and then hopefully drive it. But regardless of that, I'm so excited to drive this thing. I mean, these brakes, this suspension, just having everything clean, rust-free, new bushings, it's gonna feel so good. Also super happy with the way the brake lines are turning out. Super excited to test this. And our new and improved fuel line and brake line zip tie mounts. Same as the ones that are on the Eclipse, but they are riv nutted in with stainless steel hardware instead of stealth tappers. Still using zip ties, because the zip ties are good. And this has room for the meth line to come down, and then the front ones will have room for the clutch line. So you guys probably don't remember what the underside of this car looked like when it was fully assembled, but it was sketch, especially for being as fast as it was. And this is gonna be a million times better. Probably also going to make a cover for this bad boy. Yeah,